Hey there, we're Shannon and Jerry Arner, your hosts of the Arner Adventures podcast.
We're a minimalist couple driven by intentional living and adventure.
Burned out from the 24/7 grind of running our business, we traded the hustle and the bustle for something more meaningful.
We parted ways with most of our belongings and moved to the coast.
Listen along as we chat about life's challenges, share inspiring stories of those who have taken big leaps to live a life outside of the norm,
and help you live with more intention and less physical and mental clutter.
Each episode is a step toward doing and being just a little bit better for ourselves and the world around us.
Life's an adventure after all. Join us for the ride.
It's the Arner Adventures podcast. Hi everybody, this is Jerry.
And this is Shannon.
And we are back for episode 171 of the Arner Adventures podcast.
Hi. I mean, it used to be you who would always say, we're moving right along.
Yeah.
And now I'm going, 171.
Yeah.
Hi.
Can I pick back up on my catchphrase again?
Yes.
We're moving right along.
Yes, we are. Before you know it, we'll be at 172.
That's right. If things go as planned.
I know. And if they're not chaotic, speaking of chaotic, this week's podcast, kind of piggybacking off of last week about romanticizing your life, and we talked about how life is really chaotic. We thought, why not have the topic and talk about how to make life feel less chaotic?
That's right.
Right?
Yeah. I think that is a good follow-up.
Yeah, because let's be honest, life can be a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Life can be a lot.
I mean,
good transition from last week's podcast.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Between work, relationships, responsibilities, just being a human in this world, it's easy to feel like everything is swirling at once, like a twister
like
and a tornado.
A tornado.
We've been there.
A blizzard. Because they don't swirl as good.
No, I was thinking about the emoji. Like if you put storm or whatever as an emoji, it's that little swirl, that little round swirl that kind of looks like a lollipop, but it's not.
The Tasmanian devil. Remember that swirl?
Yes, like a little storm.
A little storm.
Well, thank you for joining us again. And every time that we even hear or see that anyone even listens to this episode, other than my mom and Jerry's sister, we get really excited. We are excited for Mom and Sherry to be listening to it too. But we do get really excited that we have built such a community that cares about the things that we're actually talking about.
That's right. We're getting up to 4, 5, 6 people at this point. So we're going to keep it building. We're going to keep it building.
We do appreciate it. And also, when we're talking about these things, we never talk about something that we haven't gone through ourselves or are not currently going through. So we want to make sure that if you're new to listening to this, we're not talking about it because we are getting up on our pedestal and saying, hey, we know how to make life less chaotic. It's more like, let us tell you the things that we're working on to make our life less chaotic and the things that have worked. And hopefully these will benefit you as well.
This is right. Yeah.
Okay, just because it's warming up outside doesn't mean you stop being cozy. You just get strategically cozy.
And that's where Cozy Earth comes in. Their bamboo sheets, total game changer, especially if you're a hot sleeper like some of us.
They're literally temperature regulating, so you can sleep like it's springtime in the mountains, even if it's actually sweaty Carolina coast outside.
And they've got more than sheets. Shannon's basically living in a resort robe and loungewear these days.
Guilty, because if I can be comfy and look like I could check into a spa at any moment, I'm in.
And everything's made from sustainable materials, so it's better for you and the planet.
So here's the deal. Head to arneradventures.com/cozyearth, that's all one word, Cozy Earth, to save 40% off site-wide. Sheets, loungewear, robes, whatever cozy you're craving, now's the time.
Because sweating through your sheets is not the vibe.
It is not. We're adults who've earned our chill. Again, that's arneradventures.com/cozyearth. Go get your cozy sustainably. Well, let's start with something that I found, Jer.
Oh, let's do that.
I was doing some research, and I found that there was a 2021 survey that showed that 50% of Americans, 50%,
that's half,
feel like life is chaotic and out of control. I mean, that's a lot. Normally you're like, yeah, it's 40%. Oh my God, that's a lot. To see that 50% of people felt that way, it
I-
sort of makes you feel not so alone.
Right. And I wouldn't have even been surprised if it was a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but remember that was 2021. That was also COVID. But I think if
Yeah.
it was now, I would almost think it would be higher.
I think it'd be a little higher this year
Yeah.
in lieu of things. Is
Yeah.
that right? That
Mhm.
means, yeah, okay,
Yep.
in lieu of things.
Yep.
Haven't used that expression in a while.
Right.
Okay.
Well, over time, we found that the answer isn't about, doing more. It's doing things differently. And
That's
that
right.
goes for most things.
Yeah, so here are our tips for how to make life feel a little less chaotic. We're sharing the systems, boundaries, and gentle routines that help us calm the chaos.
Yep. These tips are, here to help to bring more intention into our days without needing to overhaul our lives or become productivity robots, which so many of I do love a productivity hack.
Yeah.
But
oh, sure, I do too.
we're not
Yeah.
productivity robots, and that's not what this is about. So we're
Right.
going to take you through the steps.
Yeah.
You want to start with number 1 or me?
I'll start with number one.
Okay.
The odd numbers always seem more appropriate for me. So start by noticing. This is number one. Start by noticing what's actually chaotic. Before you can fix overwhelm in your life, you have to pin it down. What exactly is the overwhelm? Because sometimes that can float around in the back of your head and you don't really think about it. It's just there. So you have to name it, identify it. Is it your mornings, which I think would be pretty typical? Your calendar, is that your calendar just getting loaded down too much? You got to get through there and get rid of some calendar clutter and some mental clutter. Often feeling the chaos is rooted in one or two specific areas that are bleeding into everything else.
Totally agree with that.
Yeah.
So here you just want to take a minute or a few minutes and just ask yourself, where does that swirl, that spinning, what's that cartoon character again?
The Tasmanian
The
Devil.
Tasmanian Devil.
Yeah.
Where does that Tasmanian Devil little storm start for you?
That's
Like,
right.
where does it start?
Yeah.
And then try this. Try to write down the top 3 things, or it could be less than that, but don't go past 3. The
Mhm.
top 3 things that make your day feel hectic.
Yeah.
So, you're not going to fix everything, but this is where we also reflect back on the journaling and
Mhm.
how journaling is a great way to find common threads and areas that you want to improve on in your life.
There's probably one guy out there saying, "Oh, well, that little devil starts on your TV screen, y'all."
The TV is making me feel chaotic.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Anywho, number 2 is create anchor points in your day. So we are big believers in rhythms, not rigid schedules. I'm saying that as also someone who also appreciates a list, and I have designated times that I do things, but I have learned that I have to take time to schedule things to not have anything. So take a few minutes through your day to help you pause and reset. Now, something that I've talked about so much. What's the word? Ad nauseum? In ad nauseum?
Oh,
What's
yeah.
that word?
I
In
think
ad nauseum?
I think it is that word, but I don't know an exact
Ooh,
definition.
I wish we had a
of
fact
that.
checker that we could say, hey, can you check this and get back to us? But we
Yeah.
don't.
I'm,
So
I'm stumped. Mhm.
there's some people out there right now who are like screaming it. But you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah.
I've talked about this a lot, that I use the Pomodoro method, 25 minutes. And it's like that block of 25 minutes is focused time working on something. And then when the 25 minutes are over, you take a break. It's typically 5 minutes. It can be 10, but you have to take those breaks. And that helps you stay more focused and then go, okay, now I'm going to take a break. So other anchor points can be as simple as morning coffee together before checking your phone, or a walk after lunch where you don't have to look at a screen. You just, get outside. It can be putting your phone away by 7 p.m. or having that power down routine before bed.
Yeah.
These tiny little rituals, they create structure without pressure. So they help to signal to your brain, hey, you're safe, you're not behind, you're right here, let's be here now. So those
Yeah.
things are really important.
Oh, yeah, I like that kind of stuff. Number 3 is build in systems that actually work for you, because everybody's built a little different. So a different system for a different person. We're not talking color-coded spreadsheets, unless that's what does it for you, of course. But we're talking about creating a rhythm that makes your life easier, not more complicated. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Some systems we use, weekly reset. Sunday's always a good day for a reset. Um, Meals, planning your meals for the week, schedule, and anything that loose ends, things that are hanging over you that you need to get taken care of. Good time to get them set up and cleared away. Start your week fresh. Another system is a shared calendar with only what really matters. If you're sharing with somebody else, you don't want to tell them that. Well, I can't think of a good example, but yeah,
that I'm not going to be working on this project at 2:00. You don't need to know that.
Don't need to know
what
that.
you need to know is that I'm going to be out of town.
Yeah.
Or I have this appointment and, I'm going to be using the car or whatever it is.
Stuff like that. Another good one is a brain dump. A brain dump of notes in our phones for anything trying to live rent-free in our heads. That comes into journaling too. I think brain dumping is an aspect of journaling where you just write, like free write, and get all that junk out of your head, and then you go, wow, man, my head was loaded down, and then you realize why you tripped going to the bathroom overnight. Your head was just so heavy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And before we move on, just know that if your system is stressing you out, like if it stresses you out to have a weekly reset or have a shared calendar, it's not the right system for you.
Yeah.
We're only telling you about the systems that work for us so that you can have some examples.
That's right.
Number 4, I love this one.
Yeah.
Is to say no without guilt.
Yes.
So chaos often comes from doing things we don't actually want or need to do. Saying yes to everything, which we used to be these people, leads to overwhelm, resentment, burnout.
That's right.
And that rushed feeling that we all hate. You know what I'm talking about, Jared. That rushed feeling.
That rushed feeling.
Like you're trying to get through TSA and like it's a race.
Yo.
You know what I'm talking about.
No, man, the adrenaline gets cranking. But yes, when you have people pleaser tendencies, guilty, you can often have a hard time saying no.
It's interesting you bring that up because I just talked about TSA and you said about the people pleasers.
Yeah.
Do you know what I noticed this last week when we were at the airport?
What did you notice?
I wanted to impress the TSA person by how organized and smooth and quick I was. And you know what it did? It made me more stressed and I started shaking. You remember that?
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
They were asking me questions and I was shaking.
Yeah.
And I was like, why do I care what this person thinks of me? I just need to chill out.
Yeah. Well, they're a little intimidating, those TSA
They
people,
are, and we've talked before about how they were bullied as kids and they're trying to do it again as adults.
So easy to fall into that trap. You're like, I'll show them.
That's right.
Those meanie TSA people, show them how good I am, and it backfired on you.
So if you're really looking for how to make life feel less chaotic, this one is super important. So set the boundaries. It doesn't make you rude. It makes you intentional. It says, hey, I give a shit about myself. I want to make sure that I am not getting myself into a situation where I'm going to be resentful of you or I'm going to burn out. I care about myself. No is a complete sentence.
Yeah.
No, period. You don't have to have anything else. We did have our episode a few weeks ago about ways to say no. But you don't have to give a reason. It's just no.
Yeah, it's just no.
You can also say, let me get back to you. That buys you time if you need time. If it's not a heck yes, it's probably a no.
That's right. Oh, and I prefer give a rat's ass about myself to give a shit about myself. Can I do that?
Yes.
Okay.
We can mark this episode as explicit and we're covered where we won't get in trouble.
Okay.
So what we've learned to wrap this one up is that boundaries create space and space brings peace.
Very nice. Very nice. I just have to pause and gaze at this one because I really like it. Number 5 is limit your inputs. The more noise we let in, and that can be more than audio noise. That can just be, chaos, anything chaotic. This includes news, social media, notifications, and yes, even group texts.
Group text.
Say
no to the group text.
Say no to the group text, yeah. If you give a rat's ass about yourself, say no.
Okay.
It's okay to protect your peace. We've reduced digital chaos. No scrolling in bed. Do not disturb mode is on most of the day for us.
Or me, it's on all the time.
All the time. I don't do it as much, but yeah, Shannon does it all the time, and it's a really good thing for her. Unsubscribing from stuff we don't even remember signing up for. Yeah. Yeah, you know.
Sometimes that's people.
That's
I don't remember signing up for you.
Yeah, that's right.
Could you please? I want to unsubscribe.
Uh-huh.
Can you move along, please?
Yeah.
What's the hot tip, Jer?
What's the hot tip? I'm so glad you asked, Shan. The hot tip for number 5, limit your inputs, is you don't need to be available to everyone all the time. Try our digital detox challenge. Our older listeners know what that is.
Older as an age, or?
No, I've been with us for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't know what that is, our digital detox challenge is a challenge that you can click the link in the show notes, and it'll tell you all about how you can take a digital detox. It's like you can do it for a day, a weekend, a month, however span you want to do it, but we highly recommend it. It'll teach you that you don't have to be available all the time.
That's right.
Number 6 is to simplify your physical space. Again, we talk about this in ad nauseum. Whatever that word is, we talk about it all the time, about how physical clutter leads to mental clutter. So your surroundings impact your mental space. Clutter equals noise, that noise Jerry was talking about. It doesn't mean you have to go full minimalist like we did, but clearing the surfaces, making your bed, having a few tidy zones makes a huge difference. So try this. Pick one area, your kitchen counter, your nightstand, your car, and give it a 5-minute tidy. And you're going to feel that shift, and you're going to be like, oh my God, I feel so much better. Yeah. We have a Declutter 365 that is a task a day for a year. It's very doable. Show notes has the link to it. It's just these bite-sized tasks that just make it completely doable to simplify rid the physical, mental, and digital clutter.
Number 7, give yourself margin. We used to fill every minute of every day and then wondered why we felt so frazzled. Now we intentionally leave white space in our schedule. And no appointments back to back. No full weekends. Nada on the guilt about canceling when we're too drained. Because rest isn't a reward, y'all. It's necessary.
Yeah. I think a lot of people out there, and I used to be one of them, is that, well, first of all, this is true. Time is money. Time is money because time is also like your health, and health is money, and wasted and all that.
Right.
But when you're in like your own business, or you're in sales or something, and you're like, I have to hustle, I have to fill every minute of the day, because a minute that is not full means that I'm losing money. And so when Jerry says that we used to do that, we used to do that. If there was room for another client for 15 minutes, that client was going in there. I don't know how we always did it. I think sometimes we didn't.
Yeah.
And you're just going to burn out. And so you really, no matter what line of work you're in, or what kind of schedule you're talking about, whether it's, just working from home, or schedule with your kids or family or anything, you've got to leave that white space. I'm thinking too, when we first started the podcast, and when we had scheduled guests on, I'm so different now. I used to have like one day a week that I recorded with guests, and I'd fill the day. Oh my God. It was so draining. I would fill it the whole day, no breaks. And now I know, no, that's going to burn me out. I have to have where no appointments are back to back. I have more than that one day of options. Yeah. I am very scheduled with the options that are available, but I'm very careful with making sure that we don't get scheduled too much.
By that last guest, you were saying, yeah. You said that. You said at the beginning of the podcast. Move it along, Buster.
That's true. Number 8 is to revisit your priorities and do it often. So every season of life looks different. What mattered last month might not need your energy this month. So what we do are regular check-ins with each other and ask, okay, does this still matter to us? Like, are we doing it out of habit, or are we doing it out of obligation? Like, does this bring us joy that we're, I don't know, I'm completely throwing this out there. It's just what came to my head, like going to church, right? Like, okay, sometimes going to church is really important to me. And then sometimes I'm like, am I doing this out of guilt?
Yeah.
Or like obligation or a family event. Like, am I doing this because I'm worried about what they're going to think if I don't show up?
Yeah.
So reevaluating your priorities helps keep your energy aligned with what you actually care about and not what you feel pressured to care about.
Yeah.
It's all about those boundaries, you know?
That's right. Yeah. Boundaries aren't walls, they're bridges to clarity.
Ooh, I love that.
I love that. Yeah. Okay. Well, life will always have seasons of chaos, but life doesn't have to feel out of control. And that's where we come in, trying to help y'all from your life from feeling out of control.
And us too. We're doing it we're working on these things ourselves.
Oh, yeah. It's a win-win. We're doing this for our own self-care and for yours. So with a few grounding habits, honest check-ins, and permission to do things a little bit differently, you can create a life that feels more calm than chaotic. And don't we all want that? You know, even when everything's not perfect.
Yeah, it's not about being rigid. It's about being realistic with what you can carry and creating rhythms that carry you when life gets heavy.
Yeah.
It's really about having that white space, having that breathing room. And like we said last week, like about romanticizing your life, being the main character of your life.
Yeah.
It's not selfish. It really just helps reduce the chaos.
That's
and
right.
that is just, I think, a life worth living.
Indeed. If this episode resonated with you, or if you know of someone who would benefit from what we talked about, please share it with a friend.
It's a great way of supporting the podcast, and we really appreciate it.
Another way of supporting the pod is by leaving us a 5-star review or rating on the platform you are listening to us on.
And go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That also supports us. You can always find us, the show notes, and sponsors who support the podcast at arneradventures.com.
And until next time, enjoy the journey you're on. We're wishing you lots of adventures.
Bye-bye.